Standard 9, Subject Geography, Chapter number 5, Precipitation. So the areas around the equator, they get heated with the sun's heat, and as it gets heated, it spreads. What spreads? The air spreads and becomes lighter, and air moves upwards. When it moves upwards, the air cools down. The moisture holding capacity of cold air is less. When the air is warm or when the air is hot, the moisture holding capacity of the air is more. But as it moves upwards and as it becomes colder, the moisture holding capacity of this air reduces. As a result, condensation of the water vapor occurs and rainfall results. In equatorial areas, such a type of rainfall occurs almost daily in the afternoons. Why afternoons? Because afternoons the temperature is higher than the mornings and the evenings. Rainfall is accompanied by lightning and thunder. The Congo Basin of Africa and the Amazon Basin in South America experience convectional rainfall. Why? Because Congo Basin and Amazon Basin are situated around the equator. Such a rainfall occurs in a very limited area in the world, because there are very limited areas in the world which are exactly around the equator. So this is called as convectional rainfall. Now we move on to orographic rainfall. Please, any one of you having any doubts, queries or issues regarding whatever we have talked about till now, you can get back to me on WhatsApp, and we will be taking that paragraph or that chapter or that page once again. Moving on to orographic rainfall. This is the second type of rainfall we are talking about today. Winds coming from lakes or seas are moisture laden. When the wind comes from towards the river, lake or the seas, it has lot of moisture in it. These winds are obstructed by the high mountain ranges coming in their way. When the winds are blowing from one direction to the other, when they meet the mountains, these winds get obstructed by the high mountains. They start going upwards. Why upwards? Because the mountains have a slope. So they start going upwards along the slope of the mountains. The temperature of these winds drop. The temperature reduces and condensation occurs and rainfall takes place. This they are showing us in the figure 5.5b. Figure 5.4 shows us convectional rainfall, whereas the orographic rainfall is shown to us in 5.5a. Thus, because of obstruction of the mountains, this type of rainfall occurs. The windward side of the mountains, the side of the mountains which are facing the winds, gets more rain. The amount of water vapor in the air reduces after crossing the mountain, and hence the moisture holding capacity of the air increases. Why? Because the air has become warm again. The leeward side of the mountain, the side of the mountain opposite to the side from where the wind is blowing, gets lesser rainfall. Why? Because the water droplets have already fallen down, and hence this area is identified as rain shadow area. See, in figure 5.5a and b, they are showing us what goes on. In 5.5b, if we see that they have shown evaporation of the water from the Arabian Sea resulting in moisture laden clouds. When they go towards the mountains, the air goes up towards the slope of the mountains. This increase in altitude results in less moisture holding capacity, hence condensation occurs, rainfall occurs, and that reduces the water holding capacity. The altitude increases, the decrease in altitude increases the moisture holding capacity again. When the less moisture holding clouds move ahead, the rainfall is less. So the other side of the mountain, which is not facing the oncoming winds, is known as the rain shadow area. The effect of monsoon rainfall is important when we think of the Indian subcontinent. Why? Because India is an agriculture concentrated country. We have studied this in the previous standard. The rainfall occurring in India because of this winds is orographic type of rainfall. So convectional rainfall and orographic rainfall, we have studied both of them. This type of rainfall, which occurs because of the winds coming from the seaside towards the mountains and resulting in the rains, is called as orographic rainfall. Third one is cyclonic rainfall. Cyclone is the specific air formation in circles when the pressure of an area is less than the surrounding regions. Any area where the air pressure in the atmosphere reduces as compared to the surrounding areas, the air starts moving around in circles. This is called cyclone. Air from the surrounding region comes towards the center of the cyclone. Because there is a low pressure area, the air from the surrounding areas tries to come to the center of the cyclone to equalize the pressure, and then the air starts moving upwards. As it rises, as the air rises, the temperature of the air reduces, condensation takes place, and rainfall occurs. It rains in areas over which the cyclone passes. Now, wherever this cyclone will pass, that area will experience rainfall. Cyclonic rainfall occurs more in temperate zones, and cyclonic rainfall occurs more in temperate zones, and cyclones area is also quite extensive. The cyclones area is very big. Comparatively, cyclonic rainfall occurring in tropical regions is limited in extent, and it is stormy in nature. It is stormy, it creates greater destruction, but it is limited in extent. Though the area covered by the cyclone is big, it does not move too much towards the land, inside the land. Orographic rainfall occurs in most of the parts in the world. Now we are talking about the orographic rainfall again. Orographic rainfall occurs in the most of the parts of the world. Convectional rainfall is regional in nature. It appears only in certain regions. There is a certainty in the convectional rainfall occurring in the equatorial areas. Now convectional rainfall occurs only in the equatorial areas. Comparatively, as compared to the convectional rainfall, the orographic and cyclonic rainfalls are less certain. We cannot be certain, we cannot be sure when or where the orographic or cyclonic rainfalls will appear, and therefore such areas are prone to very heavy rainfall, floods or droughts frequently. Droughts means lack of water. Now, they are asking us to study the rainfall map of the world given in figure 5.7, and we need to observe the following details. Before that, we also need to keep an eye on the figure 5.6, where they have shown us about the cyclonic rainfall. The factors which affect the amount of rainfall in a region are the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere, the air pressure, and the temperature of the region or the air. The topography, the physical makeup of the land, and latitudinal position of the place also affects its rainfall. On which latitude is the area falling under? It also depends on this. Next, we move on to rain gauge. Rain gauge means measuring the rain. How can we measure the rain? We usually hear in the television that today there was 6 inches of rain or 100 centimeters of rain. How do we come to know about this? That we are going to learn now. The instrument that is used to measure rainfall is called as a rain gauge. Figure 5.8 shows us about the rain gauge. What is this rain gauge made of? The funnel that is used in the rain gauge has a specific diameter. First, the specific diameter funnel has to be used. The rainfall in this funnel is collected in a bottle fitted in the gauge. There is another bottle fitted in the gauge which gets filled with the water that the funnel collects. The collected water is then measured with the help of a measuring jar. See, the measurement is not happening in the same bottle that we are collecting the water in. We have to remove the bottle, transfer the water in a measuring jar, and then we have to measure the rainfall.